Hello, everybody. As always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I am Coach Paul, and this is Ola Prime's Market News Update. To start, the Bank of Japan board members shared some insight on the monetary policy outlook of their country, mainly summing up to confirm if inflation and prices move in line with their current forecast, they will continue to raise the policy rate. South Korea's year-over-year CPI data was in line with expectations at 2.1%, as well as the month-over-month data at 0.2%. UBS made headlines today warning that U.S. corporate credit markets are too complacent, with high-yield debt valuations approaching unprecedented multi-decade highs. Essentially, their thought is credit markets are underpricing the risks of an economic slowdown, and thus risk premiums are not reflecting as such. Risk premiums are currently near decade lows and suggest about 5% global economic growth this year. Current stock market expectations are roughly 4.5% growth. The US dollar continued its weakness amongst most of the major currency pairs, stemming from Friday's trading session, where we saw weaker than expected unemployment data. U.S. equities rebounded largely today, with the S&P 500, Dow Jones, and NASDAQ all up by more than 1.6%, with the NASDAQ leading the pack at 2.2% and the S&P 500 up 1.8%. After the Euro USD had a big rebound on Monday, the pair traded a bit more quietly today with a small loss. The pair is currently trading at 1.1606 as of this writing. CAD USD had a small gain on the day of less than 0.1%, closing at 0.7273 and is trading at 0.728 as of right now. GBP USD also notched an insignificant gain, closing at 1.329. It's currently trading at 1.331 as of this writing. The Swiss franc showed some weakness today, recording a loss of 0.55% against the US dollar and is currently trading at 1.246. Lastly, the New Zealand dollar followed a similar path to that of the franc, with a small loss of about 0.17% to the US dollar. Gold futures continued its rebound off its 3-month range lows, recording a $12 per troy ounce gain on the day, closing at $3,428 per ounce. Gold is currently trading at $3,431 as of this writing in the overnight session. Silver futures also recorded a gain on the day, closing at $37.44 per ounce, gaining close to 1.1% on the session. On the currency front, or the cryptocurrency front, I should say, Bitcoin futures traded green on lower volume, closing at $115,380 on the day, which is where it currently sits in the overnight session. This coming after the heavy sell-off on Friday, where we saw a loss of about $3,000 or about 2.5%. WTI crude oil futures continued its losing streak since July 31st amid oversupply concerns, trading down today to as low as $65.50, but closing at $66.25. It seems to be consistently finding support at the 50-period EMA, which we'll have to keep a close eye on going forward. Last but not least, on the docket for tomorrow's economic data releases, we have a larger list of services PMI data coming out, including Italy, France, Spain, and Germany, along with final services PMI from the UK. At 10 a.m. Eastern, we have a ISM services PMI, data release for the US, which could have some high impact on the US equities markets. Now, without further ado, it's time for our Quiet Markets live trading session with both myself and Coach Tiger, so let's get to trading. Coach Tiger, as always, it is fantastic to see you. How's everything going, my friend?
Ah, going wonderful. Good to see you as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see
pretty
you're
good.
I see you're
Pretty
in
good.
your beautiful vacation home here. A little bit of snow maybe
There's a
outside. It looks like fall.
little bit of a bonsai tree or something behind me. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
I don't know my trees. I'm probably way off, so I'll stick with trading.
Oh man.
Good deal. Well,
Yeah, man.
yeah, little. What do you think? A little lighter volume, but it looked like the indices spiked up a little nice, huh?
Yeah, they definitely showed some force today. Well, today during the regular trading hours and during the overnight session, the Sunday overnight into Monday. Man, like
Yeah.
the equities, I mean, essentially up 100 points on the ES, including the overnight session. So, and then,
Hmm.
and as I'm saying, and as we're talking right now, equities are up, still going up. So, looks like it was a short lived little worry as of late last week. This
Yeah.
feels pretty exuberant to me. It's starting to feel like we're in a fantasy land of sorts, to be quite honest. Like,
Yeah.
just it, everything just won't stop doing well. Again, it just feels like you can't lose going long,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining about it, but at the same time, it also worries me if there is a sudden realization of maybe slowing growth that things could come to a halt and correct quickly. So, but we're not there yet. So I guess we can save that day for another time and worry about it
Yeah.
at a later date. So,
Burn that bridge when we get there, huh?
exactly. Exactly. Until then, we just got to trade and make some money. So,
Yeah.
how
I mean,
is
I think it. I think it just as far as the markets go. Yeah, the indices. It just feels like obviously Friday was a shock to the system with the not only the NFP number but the revised number from the previous period. I think that
Yep,
was the biggest shock. I mean, I
that
was looking
is
at
to
that
me.
a little more in depth, and yeah, let me actually do this. Back in, pull up my chart. I'm gonna put the kind of the recent history of the NFP on to see what I
Ooh,
was looking at. Yeah, if
I love
now that
that.
is if my copy and okay, perfect, it worked. I was making sure my copy and paste feature worked. I was having problems with it this morning on this morning stream, uh, but I realized it was pasting on a completely different chart. So, yeah, that NFP report, I mean, it's been on kind of a slow down, a little bit of a downtrend. Everything's trendable. Everything's chartable, right? All these
Mhm.
economic reports, so it's always fun to see the actual chart of it. But yeah, you had the numbers really well back really the start of the last year of the Biden administration. Yeah, it peaked at 353,000 at one point. Um, After a whole bunch of estimates that just completely bombed and missed, right? These red dots are the forecasts for those periods, and you can
Mhm.
see the real numbers came out and just were, were way higher. But but the revised number, if we're looking here at the previous period, so not Friday, but the previous period, the previous month, yeah, they had an estimate of 100 and I think it was 107,000. I don't have it on this screen, but yeah, they it came out with 147,000, so that was really good. But then they revised it all the way down to I think it was 14,000. That's what this yellow line represents, or the
Right.
revisions. So you get that coupled with Friday's numbers that were way below expectations, and that was just a little bit of a miniature panic sell off, right, on
Mhm.
Friday. Uh, but it feels like the markets kind of realized that, when it comes to the overall data, I mean, that's just one report, right? So just in looking at the rest of the U.S. economic data, let me pull that one up real quick, see if I can copy paste this one. It's really not so bad. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's really not as bad as everybody's making it out to be. So I wanted to see what you think about this as soon as I get this pulled up. Um, I don't know. My thoughts are it's 50. It's about 50-50. So let me just copy paste this real quick and
Yeah, yeah.
make sure that it comes up. Perfect. So this is the overall US economic releases just over the last month or so, month and a half. Um, Everything you see in yellow is within the last 7 days released. So obviously there's the non-farm payroll on Friday with the big miss. So obviously that was bearish for the currency, bearish for the stock market. Um, and then you go back, you also had the wage growth report though that was bullish. This is all on Friday. Unemployment rate was neutral because they hit
Mm-hmm.
that on the head, 4.2%. So slight uptick from the previous report on the inflation, but economists actually got that one right. Um, and then you had the manufacturing PMI numbers bearish. So 49.5 already in contraction territory. Anything under 50 for PMI reports is contraction. Anything above 50 is expansion. But
Yep.
yeah, they missed miserably on that 1.5. So obviously Friday was just not a good day. But then
Mm-hmm.
you look at some of the previous reports. You had the PCE report the day before that was bullish for the currency. That's the personal consumption expenditure report. That's one of the main ones that the Fed likes to look at, right?
Mm-hmm.
As far as inflation. So, and then you had the jobless claims come in. That one, it was better, but not like a huge amount of better. It was about 6,000 less. So that was bullish for the currency. And then you go the day before. So Wednesday, we had that awesome GDP number after
Mm-hmm.
a negative territory number the previous period. So that before Wednesday, it was negative zero point 0.5. And then they forecast 2.5, came out a half again better. So you,
Yeah.
I think it seems to me like the markets just realized, okay, it was a little bit of a shock Friday. You get a big panic sell off. But when you look at it in the context of all the other recent data, it's really not so bad. It's about 50-50, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Um,
I do agree with you. I agree. I think like because I was myself like when the only thing that concerned me, the only thing of concern, was that jobs data, like the revised jobs data. That was the only
yeah,
thing where you're like, geez, Louise, like what are we do? How are we off by 100,000 or so? Like that's just
yeah,
a
that's
that's
insane.
like that's like an economic, like that's kind of to me like similar to something like, oh, you're forecasting 2.3% and then it comes out like 2.8% and you're like, whoa, wait, why did that happen for PPI, or why did that happen for CPI? Or like to me, that's a big jolt of worry, and especially because the Fed has such a eye on, that's one of their two mandates is worrying about employment. So
Yeah,
and then obviously that immediately shifted the Fed rate decision, like probabilities to 80 something percent of a cut coming forth in
yeah.
September. So yeah.
And they have a history of having to revise this thing. I mean, you look at February of last year, February of 2024, huge revision miss. Um, another a couple, another bigger revision miss here, a little smaller of a miss here, a little smaller here, a little bit of a miss here. I mean, they have a history of getting this report wrong. Look at this one. I mean, this was
Oh yeah.
January of this year, January 10th. So that was around 160,000 estimate, came out to 256, but it was revised up. So they're just all over the place with this. And that's exactly why I say, to me, economists that are predicting this stuff, I think I might have said it on our show last week. I can't remember if I did or not, but they're just like
Yeah.
meteorologists. They get it wrong all the time and they still get paid the next week. So I don't really care what the economists say. Like there was a question that came up in a chat this morning and they were talking about sounds like the dollar's going down. The economists predicted this. The economists predicted that. I'm like, I appreciate you bringing that to our attention, but I don't care. It's like watching the news, regardless left or right or center. Right? You're always going to get
Mhm.
fluff. You're always going to get something that's more personal opinion. But I only care about the hard data. That's all I care about.
Right.
Um, so who cares what the front page of the Yahoo Finance says or what they talk about on CNBC? It's just insane how. I mean, the fake news, man. It's a real thing.
Yeah,
Not only in politics,
and
but in
yeah,
finances as well.
right. No, I agree, man. Like, especially with especially with stuff like you literally just mentioned with like reading CNBC articles. I'll tell you what. I mean, it's not even like the news in there. Like CNBC, for example, like it's a good source of news if you want to, for some reason, be caught up, just like if you're not really in tune with like the day to day already from like
Mhm.
genuine financial news sources, and you just need an overview
Right.
of like stuff on the day, then yeah, go to CNBC. But if like you're
Yeah,
paying
exactly.
attention to CNBC, if you're like you've got an eye on CNBC at every minute of the day, you're probably just wasting brain space and like reading those articles, because a lot of them are just so, they have so little meaning to any
They have
of
agendas.
like anything. Like, yeah, like
Yeah, agendas,
there's
and they
one,
get paid for their agendas. It's just crazy.
right. Yeah, I mean, and regardless of whatever those are, like I don't even know what like any of them would be going after or anything, but like I'm just saying, like even reading like even like articles where they're just talking about like this, what the stock market's currently doing and whatever, it's like you can just look at the charts and see it yourself anyway. Like why even read through it? Just search like the ES or the NQ, or look at the mag 7 stocks yourself and kind of check out some news on all 7 of them. Like it take you 10 minutes instead of like reading the article, because you know you probably already know. Like essentially, you could be rereading stuff that you already know. Like a lot of the times, it's like, well, yeah, I already knew all this, so
Yeah.
it feels like a waste of time. It feels like a waste of time when I'm reading a lot of these, like a lot of mainstream news articles related to finance stuff. So one-on-one trading,
Yeah.
good to see you in the chat. Thanks for stopping by. It's like
What's going
commented,
on?
hard to accept the numbers when they're estimated. Yeah, no,
Yeah, exactly.
I think we agree. Estimations mean
100% right
mean
on.
diddly.
It's one thing. It's one
Yeah.
thing to miss by a few points or maybe a half a percent or something sometimes, but when some of these numbers, yeah, like last week, 147,000 or last period down to 14. Like they missed that
Mm.
by what, 85%? I don't do math, so I'm just guesstimating there. Horrible miss.
Yeah, like
So no, it's no surprise that everything dropped on Friday. But yeah, again, that's the whole reason I brought it up and pulled up the U.S. heat map, because yeah, you look at it in the context of everything else. The inflation has been going down. I mean, we were at what, 6.5% back in January of 23 or something like that. We came all the way down to like 3% 6 months later, and then we've just been kind of ebbing and flowing very slowly downward. I mean, obviously,
yeah.
2% is the goal, right, for the Fed, but we're not too far away. So you look at inflation; it's not so bad. Energy's coming down, so yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, I'm just more so neutral. I mean, you see it right there on the currency heat map, 50% for the dollar, right? That's as neutral as it gets when you're looking at just strictly. And again, that's just strictly looking at the fundamental reports that are released.
Yeah.
But that's why this is my favorite thing to look at every single day. Look at the currency strength meter, since I'm a forex trader, and try to match up a strong currency with a weak one. So obviously, euro is the strongest. I mean, 100% of the European reports have beaten expectations.
Right.
New Zealand 88, Swiss franc 80, and then the weakest at the moment, Aussie dollar, pound.
Mm.
So, I mean, that right there is why I got into that euro pound trade on Tuesday, and I closed it out Friday for a really nice profit. It's just because of the just it's simple. Just match up strength with weakness, right?
Yeah. No,
um,
I love hearing the profit, man. I'm glad that you were able to reel in a big fish there. That's awesome. GBP, man, has
a
been
fat tuna.
yeah. GBP has been interesting. We had can't remember who. think it was our viewer Bravo Zulu talking about the GBP in the chat this morning and talking about how it was like finally
Mm-hmm.
breaking. I haven't been paying too much attention to it, but I do know that it was relatively flat as of yesterday, like into today. It was let me pull it up real quick.
Oh, that's Troy. One-on-one trading. I just realized, Coach Troy. What's
Coach
going on,
Troy.
Coach Troy? Hey, it's a perma bear, right?
Awesome. Oh yeah, love having Coach Troy in the chat. That makes
That's cool.
that comment makes more sense now. I hear it in Coach Troy's voice too, and I'm just like now got the full fledged experience here. All
Good
right,
stuff.
awesome.
Good stuff.
Um, but yeah, it looks like the GBP was basically I mean it closed at 1.329 and it's right now at one. It's literally like flat essentially. So. Um, it had a bit of a doji candle today on the daily. So,
Mm-hmm.
so what
The
you're
pound.
still seeing? Yeah, pound dollar. You're
You
still
talking about?
seeing bearish, right, on the pound dollar.
Yeah. So after all the Friday data shook out, my current top setups, if I'm just looking at the currencies, is still the euro pound is the most bullish pair I have as far as the economic data, the sentiment data.
Yeah,
Um, Five or higher, as always, is a bullish score for me. So I've got a score of a 9 for euro pound. I mean, the COT report came out Friday. It didn't really help that either way. It was more neutral, but retail traders are still net short on this thing, the euro pound. If I flip on over to that, I'd like to get back into this trade, to be quite honest with you. It paid me once. I'd like to have it pay me again. But yeah, just looking at that, retail traders net short. So that's obviously a contrarian signal. Seasonality is positive for euro pound. GDP report favored the euro. SPMI, the services sector, that favored the euro. Retail sales favored. Unemployment rate favored, and so did the interest rate. So there's really only two items going against this bullish narrative, and that's the trend and the producer price index. That favored the
hmm
British pound over the euro. I mean, you add all that up, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bullish bias narratives versus the two negative, and then there's like four others that are neutral, five others that are neutral, and that's my strongest one. So yeah, I ended up buying down here on Tuesday, I believe it was, or no, I guess it was Wednesday. Was that Wednesday? Yeah, it was Wednesday. Okay, I was in that trade for 2 days. I thought it was three, um, but yeah, when the actually, let me go back over here to my other when the NFP report came out, it spiked up like crazy.
yeah,
So yeah, just kind of rewinding the trade. So when price came down to my 4 hour demand zone down here, that's where I was looking to get in. So went to a 15-minute. Price ended up hitting right here. Kind of did a few different doji candles and kept closing in the middle of the body. So I was just basically waiting on this bullish expanded range candle to close, and it closed near the top. So that made me feel a little more comfortable about jumping in. So I got in on this candle here, kind of went sideways for a while. But when NFP hit, if I go down to the 1 minute time frame, let's see here. Yeah, it was over here. So it was shortly after our morning stream ended. But yeah, obviously negative for the dollar, but that the traders of the euro took that the opposite end of it. So spiked up really hard. I ended up before that release. I ended up pushing my trade to a 1-to-1 or to a break even trade because it had made a
mm,
1-to-1 move on me. Good positive move. So I brought it up just enough to lock in a cup of coffee in this area. And then, yeah, when that report came out, spiked up, came down. I just let it shake itself out here for a while. But when it made this higher high, and so this is the cool thing, Paul. So obviously, I'm a 4 hour trader. I look at my supply and demand zones, but
hmm
that trade forced me to turn into a scalp trader real quick. So yeah, after it did all this, I ended up moving my stop loss below this area here, and then yeah, kind of. I think when it broke this area here, I ended up moving it under here, and I just slowly trailed it up for an hour and a half. Um, just one candle at a time, and it just kept making higher highs, higher lows. So I finally ended up trail stopping out right here on this candle. Yeah, $2,140 on my other broker I have. I think it was like 280 on the GUI trades. So yeah, it was a really good day, but all because the euro is stronger than the British pound, and it was my most bullish top setup. So that's why I didn't close it at the 1-to-1. Yeah, I mean, that could have very easily went against me and stopped me out, but I wasn't worried about it because I already had my cup of coffee in hand. So I just kind of left it open to chance it. And because the fundamentals were so good for the euro, I just decided to go with it. And sure enough, it worked out. So yeah, it was a good day. But yeah, I'd like to get back into this trade, to be quite honest with you.
If possible. I mean, I get it.
Waiting to get a little better of a price. I mean, I was looking this morning at this area here on a 10-minute time frame, a demand, but I just never got the trigger candle. Let me get rid of all these drawings here. Yeah, I never really got my trigger candle. I mean, it did hit here. Let me see here. What was I looking at? So when I was looking at it on a 5-minute, I mean, I did get that kind of wick candle in, and it also hit this trend line, this long-term trend line I have since like May. But I just never got an increase in volume spread analysis candles down below. It just kind of stayed flat. So that kept me out because that showed me that even though the candle looked good, it just, there wasn't any real volume. So I ignored it, and I'm glad I did because it probably would have stopped me out right here. So just basically on that one, man, I'm just waiting on a little deeper retracement, maybe to this 50% line from this swing low, swing high. I might keep an eye on that area. In fact, I guess I don't even have an alert there, do I? Need to put an alert there. So we'll see. Might take a look at that. Same thing. I'm going to be strict on this. I want to see some volume increase. I don't want it to just hit like a dead fish. I need it to hit. Now I need to see some institutional strength. So, but I like that. I mean, it's 50%. It's also this former resistance line back here. That's what, anytime you guys see blue dash lines, it's usually because it's a higher time frame former resistance or support line. So I just like to use that as confluence. If it's running through a zone of mine, then that just makes me feel a little better. But yeah, that's probably what I'm going to be strict though, because if you look to the left, looking at this on a 4-hour time frame, this is what I call that kind of sideways retail chop fest, right? That's just retail traders just chopping themselves to pieces. So ideally I would want to see a trade underneath there, but it's really not a whole lot in the way down here. I obviously can't reuse the same zone because it's been mitigated. So I need to delete that because that was the daily. I mean, I could probably take a stab at this same area, but I just don't really like that there wasn't much of a fair value gap coming out of this zone. I mean, this is, my algorithm is saying that this is a demand zone, right? Because we do have a red candle down before the move up, spike up.
Right.
But I don't really like how weak it was coming out of here. Didn't really get a big volume spike at all either. So I'm just going to color this zone kind of a lighter color of green. So that just tells me subliminally it's not a very strong one, but it's one to watch. So I'll just see what happens if and when price reacts to it. That's all that means. Get rid of these lines here.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything underneath.
I have. Sorry. Continue.
I think I just want to
continue.
All I was going to say is I think I just needed to create a new high, like break this high. So basically, I'd want to see something like this. Like if I had it my way, break this high, close up here, and then come down and find a demand for a buy along. That's probably what I'd feel the most comfortable about at this point.
Yeah. Yep.
Unless I find something on a smaller time frame and just take it like 15, 20 pips, nothing too crazy. So, but yeah, that's my most bullish setup at the moment on the currencies.
I like it. I like it a lot. I'll tell you what though, Troy, geez Louise, now I'm just Tiger, my goodness. Troy and Tiger. I got Troy and Tiger in my brain because of the chat earlier. And then I'm also flustered on this trade that I just missed out on because I was staring at the screen and able to get in with plenty of time, but I can just I'll share my screen. We'll have I just want to show
Yeah,
you real
go right
quick
ahead, man.
something. I
Go right
decided to
ahead.
be a little bit more
Good night, Troy.
patient. This
Have
is
a
where
good night. Look like he's
patience really
hopping off.
bit me in the bit me. Yeah, I saw patience really bit me in the butt here. I'll tell you what. That
Yeah.
was not fun. But what just happened? But I was actually earlier in the regular trading hours. I was explaining how the 50 period after a really bullish morning, the 50 period held up nicely as support. We rallied a little bit. Let me bring over this here. So this little circle that I've got, it showed
Mhm.
great support here at the 50 period EMA. We rallied up, came back down, and we broke through that 50 period EMA. But it makes sense because it wanted to retest the low. So we that like little swing low of sorts that was created from that big rally up in the morning. So we came back down, broke through the EMA this time to retest that low. Then we came back up again to retest that small little high there. We then respected the 50 period EMA. What would you know? We respected it some more here. The most that it went underneath that 50 period EMA was roughly like 1.5 or so 15 ticks, about $1.5. Then
Mhm.
we just bounced again here in the overnight, came back down. What do you know? We respected the 50 period EMA and it didn't go
Nice.
below it by more than another 8 ticks or so. Rallied up
Mhm.
here. On this way back down, I was watching this while we were on session here. I was side eyeing it. I told myself, I'm going to get long when we see price come back down to the 50 period EMA. Now, the only thing that I told myself to be patient with, even though it touched that and it touched it for probably, I had 45 seconds or so to get in within like a couple ticks of that EMA. But what I was telling myself was, look, on the 5 period or on the 5 minute charts, each time it came down to that EMA, it didn't like immediately reverse or anything. There wasn't like some like boom V up. Like it settled down there for
Mhm.
literally 15 to 30 minutes depending on the time period, and there was plenty of opportunity to just watch volume and make sure that accumulation was occurring before getting in. I don't want to, you see this sell off here. It wasn't on really too much volume, especially this candle here wasn't on much volume, but this candle where it touched the 50 period had a decent bit of volume coming in, and it was a red candle, and I wanted to see if it was going to close, near this 50 period and then maybe wick down before then getting back in close to the, because again, like I said, there was a lot of time where it was just sitting around the 50 period EMA, or it punches through it a little bit, or accumulates underneath it or above it. So I was thinking, I shouldn't be impatient here. I should let this touch it, let it, hang around it for a while, get long in between that period, and then for an upward move. And it literally it did not let me do that at all. It didn't let me be responsible, or wasn't letting me be responsible essentially. And it wanted me to essentially just literally immediately get in, and
Yeah.
I could have had a $4 scalp immediately, which would have been like $40 a contract essentially. Um, ah, to be conservative, like $30 a contract there. But you know, it's unfortunate, but I guess
Yeah.
in these this is something to learn in these overnight sessions is just because maybe in these overnight sessions trying to take the stab at it sooner than later is better, just because of the illiquidity, and maybe
Yeah.
we don't need to see things settle as much. Maybe I should be getting in and be okay with sitting in a trade for a little while and just trusting, the analysis of the last 10
Mhm.
hours. Like, this
Yeah.
EMA is showing an upward trend, relatively speaking. We're
That is.
seeing there is respect. around that that wherever that level is, there is support there. So I guess I kind of overthought it a bit and just thought that maybe it required some more respect, and it just didn't. So something
Yeah,
to
yeah.
learn. We'll see if it comes back down here, allows for me to maybe get in, um, actually get the chance to get in here before another larger turn upwards into like the 3.438 area or something close to the 3.340 level, which we tried to hit in the morning, but
I like how
uh,
you're using Daryl's cursor method with the circle.
I told him I'm stealing it. I said, I told him today, I was like, you know what? I am stealing that. It just makes
Great
sense. It,
idea,
it
though.
just makes sense. I agree 100%.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a great. It's like we got
yeah.
a little giveaway there, Coach Paul. What are we doing today? Let's see.
Uh, do you
50K?
want to read it out?
Oh, sure, yeah. Looks like we're passing out a 50K challenge account. Now, is that a Forex account? Is that right? I didn't see the
I,
specifics on
be-
that.
I
I,
believe
I
it's a
think that's
futures, but
futures.
but
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know.
Yeah, let us know back end if that's futures Forex. But either way, as always, just make sure to subscribe to Hola Prime TV, which is the channel you're on now if you're watching this, and then the Hola Prime Global channel. Um, yeah, just give us a shout out, comment. Obviously, let us know what market you're looking at, what charts you're wanting us to look at. Okay, so it is a Forex account, just to clarify for everybody. So yeah, 50K Forex account. So yeah, like and subscribe to the channels, comment on this live session, and then make sure your email is in your YouTube bio. I feel like we're a broken record about this part, right? Paul, we've picked winners probably on every single stream, and they just didn't have the email. So we have to have an email so that
Mhm.
we can send you the instructions to have you create your account. So, but yeah, we're going to definitely be giving that away today. We'll select that live here on the show, probably. I don't know, what is it? Probably around 9:30 or so Central. That would be my guess. Back in to let me know if there's anything different on that, or 9 or 9:30. So we'll get you the time here any moment. But yeah, just yeah, 21:30.
Yeah.
So that's 9:30. 9:30 Central Standard Time, 10:30 Eastern Time, which is where Paul's at. So yeah, just go
Beautiful.
ahead and do those steps, and we'll pick a lucky winner. But yeah, definitely give us some love in the chat. I mean, that helps. That goes a long way into us picking a winner. So yeah, just
Yeah.
let us know what markets you're looking at, what you'd like to see on futures. Paul helps with futures. I can help with Forex. Any market, any
Mhm.
fundamental analysis, any technical analysis, any of that stuff. But if you have won previously, just keep in mind this is for people that have not won before, right? We're just trying to spread them out as fairly as we possibly can. So for first
Mhm.
time winners only. Any so yeah, if you have any thoughts or questions on that, let us know.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. And Coach Daryl just hopped in the chat. Said he just purchased the patent for the yellow circle. Son of a gun! I'm gonna have to find something else. Son of a
Well,
shucks.
make it a little square or something. Or a star.
Oh man,
That's great.
I can't
That's
believe
wonderful.
this. I am
Like,
getting long. Ah, no, geez. Okay, I actually have to get
uh-oh.
out
What are you
because
stewing on over there? What are you
okay, I have
stewing
to.
on?
So for some reason my like usually when you pull up a chart in uh on Project X here, it
Mhm.
changes everything. It changes the order ladder or like the DOM. It changes your order screen. It changes everything to that symbol. It's not doing that for me anymore. Something I must have clicked something accidentally where it took that feature away, and I have to adjust it because now what I'm doing is I'm changing the symbol on my chart, but then the order I click in to get into a trade like in the order screen, and it's a the different product.
Oh,
so so yeah, like I just need to figure that out so I can be a little bit quicker here. I got in on
yeah.
a couple of contracts just now. I'm gonna move this down to there.
Looks like
Um,
as you're doing that, looks like Liquidation Lab is in some gold as well. Looks like he's got a possible TP at 33.90. So be interesting to see what your TP might look like. Oh wait, you're on the futures
it's
though. Liquidation, are you on the CFD for gold? Because yeah, if so, yeah, obviously you're. I see where you're at. Yeah, so never mind. That's not a future. I'm sure he's looking at the CFD
yeah.
long in gold.
Uh, I'm on I'm on the futures micros at the moment. I got in long just a second ago, but I'm not even going based off of the 50 period anymore. Unfortunately, I'm just trying to. I just looked. I was looking at the order flow, and it was looking very bullish. So I got in long to try to catch this upward drift. But as soon as I did that, some sell orders aggressively slammed down. But it looks like it's nothing too crazy. So buyers are stepping back in right now, sucking up some of this liquidity here. And I'm going to
Sucking it.
definitely be looking for a little bit of a resumption to the upside. Hopefully, we don't have to come all the way. I'm going to actually move this. I need to move this down to so 50 period is at 3431.9. I got to be about a point below that. So 3430.9. And then I'll get long one contract or so at 3432 here, or 3432 to 3432.5 ish to fill out my full position on gold. But would like to see at this point, I would like to see gold respect VWAP, which I currently have at 3433.3. So I would like it to kind of respect that and just maybe if I'm being a little greedy here, respect this 9 period EMA that it's all of a sudden bouncing off of. That would be the most bullish of bullish things I could have happen for me. But
Yeah.
if not, it's okay. I'll just take the 50 period EMA respect. So, no,
RESPECT. Find out what it means to be.
that's
Put
what
in
I
some
need,
Aretha.
man. I need that. I need that energy in this trade right now. So, come on.
Yep.
Come on.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I mean,
You know what? It's time for the
know what's
spaceship.
that? Spaceship. Here we go. We need the spaceship. We need the
Come on.
spaceship. Hey, I like the magnet, man. The magnet helps me. It helped me last week, so I'll be throwing the magnet. Yeah, gold. I mean, on the CFD side of things, I mean, it's if I'm looking at my normal trading style, which is obviously the longer time frames, I'm really not interested in trading it because it's really just given me a neutral score of a 3. So obviously tomorrow's services report could probably help that. If it's negative for the dollar, then I'm sure that would bump it up a couple points as far as my top setups algorithm goes. And then I'd be interested in looking for a long on gold. However, I say that if I'm just looking on a shorter term technical, yeah, on the shorter term technicals, I mean, I definitely see a little 15-minute demand zone a little lower that I'd be interested in getting in for like a short little scalp. Yeah, for me personally, liquidation, I'd be interested to see where your entry was, but yeah, I'm looking at 33.65. If we can come down to that level, then I'll definitely be interested in buying into gold for like a maybe a 30-minute or an hour type of trade. So let's go. Takeoff is here in 15 minutes. Okay. Yeah, Liquidation Lab. I'm kind of curious what kind of trading style you have. You've been on here quite a few different times. Do you buy? What do you use? Indicators? Use breakout trading, range breakouts, supply and demand zones? I'm just kind of curious. So yeah,
All I
we'll
know
see
is
what
that
you.
I'm glad that Liquidation Labs is with me on this gold trade. I got
Yep.
a little bit of support here in the corner. Come on, let's just get it up there, right into the spaceship. Let's just. I mean, I don't know. I wish I knew what the 33.90 target price was in relation to the
Well,
futures. Maybe I could
so
look at
yeah,
that.
so if I just use my ruler tool and I move it up to 33.90, it's about 0.25%. So wherever you're at,
Okay.
just add another 0.25% with your ruler tool, and that give you an idea. Because like
All
right now, it's
right.
at 33.81, 33.81. So need another what, eight points?
3443. So okay, yeah, no, that's
Yeah, there you are.
okay. Now that I'm looking at that on my market profile, I totally see exactly where you're heading for. Um, on the July 23rd days when we kind of made that last top that we had in gold, you're targeting kind of like relative point of control slash that higher distribution that was made over in that range, which I agree with. And also today on the 30-minute time frame, when I'm looking at the market profile, the TPO profile, on two separate 30-minute blocks, we touched the high of day, which I believe, a lot of times in market profile studies or TPO studies, that constitutes as like a weak high, and the auction process needs to go a little bit further to confirm prices and understand like where comfort is. So I would expect that to be broken in a at the minimum in a regular trading hour session. Um, but if it happens here in the overnight, I'd be ecstatic. I would
Yeah,
definitely be ecstatic for that to occur. It technically doesn't count as repairing that weak high if it happens in the overnight. But I would love for it to happen in the overnight in general, and then maybe in the regular trading hour session, we open up a little bit higher and then retest this area on like in the morning or something as a short to then bounce back and go long again. So fingers crossed.
right on.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Well, I've got alerts a little lower, so hopefully my alerts don't get triggered. Because if that's the case, that means you guys are taking some profits. So I just threw one down a little deeper. I'm kind of keeping an eye on a couple 15-minute zones for the NASI and for the S&P as well. I don't think I really see anything on the Dow at the moment. Let me look here. Yeah, just need a little bit of retracement pullbacks on those. But what am I doing here? I'm trying to get my alert set. Add alert. Add alert. I know I got a ton of alerts. I cleaned up all my alerts from last week. I've only got a handful of
Nice.
things with alerts on them today. Like probably my fewest alerts I've had in a while. And it's really because, Paul, a lot of these indices and currency pairs I've been watching, they're just kind of hanging out in the middle, kind of in no man's land. I feel like if I'd be getting in any fairly close areas, I'd be diddling in the middle. So basically, I just need, when looking at the higher time frames like I do, I just need some breakouts and retests is what I need, because I just
Yes.
got a lot of junk and going sideways, just like Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin for the last 3.5 weeks, right? It's just been
Yeah.
going straight sideways.
Crazy.
Ugly
Yeah.
retail zone.
Like
I mean, it finally broke out to the low side, and there is a demand zone a little bit below it. Just missed it, dang it. It just missed my demand zone. Let me see, that would have been Saturday, I guess, at 11 a.m. But yeah, so hopefully I can get a little bit deeper of a retracement. Bitcoin, I'm waiting for the 111,000 mark is what I'm looking for.
I would
But
love that too, honestly. Because I'm considering myself not financial advice or anything, no financial advice or anything. I'm considering trying to start to step into the crypto game in terms of like investing possibly. So we will see.
yeah,
I would like to definitely see some sort of relatively large pullback to occur first, so I don't feel like I'm getting in at all the all-time highs or anything. But yeah, I'm considering maybe
Mm-hmm.
setting up a hard wallet or something, and sprinkling a
Yeah.
little bit of longer term money into it. We'll see.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. A few different options. Yeah. Coinbase. Heck, you got Robinhood you can do it on these days. Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't really done it too long. I mean, I've got like a Robinhood account. I've got a public account. It's very similar to Robinhood. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I just have a little bit invested in it. Nothing to write home about, but yeah, quick and
Right.
easy
Right.
way to get rolling. But yeah, Bitcoin, like I said, 111,000. It's a 12-hour demand zone with a 1 hour demand zone inside. So I'm getting that confluence. Kind of awkward time frames, but hey, it looks good on a chart when you
Hmm.
look at those time frames. So I was looking to take a stab at that, but ultimately that 100,000 mark is probably where millions of eyes are just waiting, waiting to pull back to that hundred
Probably.
thousand mark. But
Honestly, wouldn't
it's
be
a perfect,
surprised.
yeah. Well, it's a perfect daily demand zone and a perfect like 1 or 2 hour demand zone right in the center of that daily. So, and obviously that's right at the 100,000 mark. No surprise there. I mean, um, but it wouldn't surprise me if the big banks just wicked it right through all the way to like 98, 97, and then
Mm,
went up. Wouldn't surprise me
yeah.
at all. So that's definitely
Me either,
something to
man.
keep an eye out. If and when it gets down there. I mean, who knows? It could just shoot straight
Yeah.
up tomorrow for all we know, right?
That's the truth. That is the truth. Chris
And I wouldn't
Byron
care.
joined. Chris Byron joined the chat. Hey guys, good to see you, man. Great to see you.
What's
Thanks for
going on, Chris?
joining. Um,
Yeah,
just so you know, Chris, if you haven't won a challenge account yet, we did state earlier that we are giving away a 50K challenge account, a Forex one. So if you haven't won yet, make sure that you have all the YouTube pages followed. That's Ola Prime TV and Ola Prime Global, and then your email in that YouTube bio section of your channel. So if you guys don't know, you just go into your channel, you then click customize channel, scroll down, there's a description area there. You just put your bio in, or your a bio description area, and then you put your email in there, save, and you're good to go. And then of course, like to stream and comment. So yeah. So just to let you know,
get you one.
and yeah. Now, what I would love to happen is for gold to finish this doji candle off and then scream to the upside, and let's test 3440.
Yep.
Come on, gold.
ET phone home.
I'm really kind of aggravated at myself, I will say, for not simply just getting in one contract here, because it was such, for me, wanting to be more patient for the sake of like, I think I overanalyzed things. I just got too I overanalyzed things, and when I could have simply been responsible still, gotten into one contract and then added, if I wanted to, another contract up here during consolidation, and have like a
Yeah.
break even trade at least for the position. But you know what? I can't beat myself up too much here. But it will be hilarious if we pop off of this EMA and go straight into the spaceship up here at 34.39.
Yeah. Right straight in the center of it.
Man, because if you look at it, so here from the low wick of this, when it was about an hour ago or so, or an hour and a half ago, this low wick was at 34.296, and then the swing high was at 34.36. So that was roughly 7 points there. And if you were to do 7 points from this low to a high, that would be roughly 34.385. So it'd be like right where the spaceship basically is, like right here, is
Yeah.
where that 7 point range would be. And if we look at the previous range of the previous swing low to swing high, that was 3428 to 34336. So that was about 5.6 ish points. So that would roughly be about what we're doing right now. A little bit
Yep.
less currently, but 5.6 points would roughly be 37, 34.37. I kind of look at those. I look at those ranges between swing lows and swing highs, measure the range of that move to possibly predict how much of a range we're going into on the next move. It's nothing that I've necessarily
Yeah.
back tested or anything too much, but it's more so to like get an idea of the short term, what kind of move I could possibly expect, and to not get much
Mm-hmm.
greedier than that, or to not expect anything like lesser, or like to not think it's going to be only like a 2 point gain instead of a 7 point gain or whatever. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's just
Well,
a
no,
little thing that I do.
that's a good point. Because I kind of do the same thing on potential stop losses. You know, I mean, obviously we're going to get corrections. If we're buying into a trend, we're going to get corrections. So, like, especially when I'm already in a trade, that's exactly what I did Friday, to be honest with you, when I was kind of scalping. I was just looking at the
Yeah.
pullbacks along the way, and I was thinking, okay, well, I'm not moving my stop loss until I achieve at least that, that most recent pullback in an upward move. So, or wait
Mhm.
until wait until I spike more than the previous couple of retracements is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, it sounds very similar to what you're doing, so that I can expect, okay, I'm going to get this much of a pullback. So don't move my stop loss until it gets at least that percentage higher. So
Yeah. Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
good stuff.
I think it's like a relatively, it's just like kind of like a thing to be aware of. Not that it necessarily will dictate what the next move will be. It's just a good kind of
Right.
like awareness thing, keeping
Exactly.
expectations in check, and like you're doing, helping with risk management decisions. I think so. All around, not a terrible idea. So,
Right.
oh man, but I would love for I would love. I mean, I will say, I'm looking at the order flow right now, and I'm like over the last 20 minutes, and it looks good. Like it's looking good. Like yeah, I feel great about this trade. I think it looks like it wants to trend upwards here and really try to. Here, let's get the 30-minute on.
I feel good. I knew that I would.
Especially when you look at something like here, like you look at this 30-minute candle and like you see this doji right here, this blue doji form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In an uptrend, I don't know if you ever see this. I mean, not that candles necessarily, like candles, I'm not saying dictate this, like the shape of a candle doesn't really necessarily dictate anything. What it can do is point you to look at the order flow, maybe on a software that I have. I can look at the order flow throughout past time and like essentially see how orders have been acting, and I can see the consolidation in it, whether or not the orders that were occurring in this 30-minute time period were on heavier volume in certain areas of the candle or not. And
Mm-hmm.
relatively speaking, what I see is bullish order flow essentially.
Well,
As I say
I
that,
gotta say, yeah, the U-shaped
sorry,
recovery your volume bars is making, I like. I mean, that makes me feel pretty good about it continuing upward as well.
me
I mean, that's a
too.
perfect U,
And
huh?
I will say 10 p.m. just happened, and 10 p.m. time frame just came on, like Liquidation Labs was mentioning here. And right before that 30-minute candle closed, it pushed down, and we closed below the open of that candle. So we're going to find out relatively quickly if there is some buyers here. And
Oh yeah, for sure.
oh, look at this. I actually missed my chance to get into another contract.
I
Dang
was
it.
just gonna say, like that was obviously a
Uh,
bigger candle, but it wasn't, to me, the volume didn't, the effort didn't really match the result on that. So you had the down candle, but you had a way big spike on your volume. Yeah, that
Yeah,
would have been a good place to enter. If that candle
that's
were less, if that candle were twice that size, it would make sense. But it was like half the size it should have been, I think.
if that
So in
didn't
other words, a
happen.
fake drop, in my opinion.
I mean, that's what it feels like to me as well. We'll get confirmation of that over the next few minutes here, but man, that, by the way, the timing to get in on that with the liquidity that was present when I'm looking at the order flow
Yeah,
right now, you had about 15 seconds. So if
yeah,
you didn't in a 15-second period, you weren't getting another contract, especially, and that's just getting it between 34,329 and like 34,335 ish. But yeah, we'll see. You know, who knows? The next 3-ish minutes, I think, are going to be telling. Like once we get to 10:05, we'll see whether or not the sellers were truly fake or not, and we'll see if I can't get in on another contract here. So
yeah. I
let's
think the
see the
closest one
5 minute.
yeah, keeping an eye on some of
Look at
the indices as well on smaller time frames. But I think my other favorite watch list item is the pound dollar on a short, but I'm still a ways away, still about 20 pips away from it. So I don't really have anything in the immediate area that I'm looking to buy or sell
you see this
at the
by
moment.
chance? You see this
What's that? Oh, yeah.
five
5 minutes.
5 minute
Yep.
right on it, touched it, just touched it briefly, and I am very curious to see how this, man, these next 2 minutes are going to be very interesting, I must say, here
Oh,
in
that's the
gold.
50. Is that the 50 period? Yeah, 50.
Yep, that's what I was talking about. Um,
Well, that's just
Daryl,
like, wasn't that the 5 minute? Oh, that is the 5 minute. I'm sorry. Never mind.
yeah,
Yeah, I was
exactly. It's the
5 minute.
5 minute.
Quite nicely there.
Coach Daryl just mentioned. So yeah, okay. Good luck on the trades, boys. Going to dinner. Coach, how like Coach Tiger's that sweet party pad will be coming over for an All Prime party. Heck yeah!
All right. My bonsai tree.
Have a good dinner, Daryl.
Yeah, enjoy yourself.
Man, that's funny. All right, looks like the selling pressure's piling on a little bit more. Some heavier contracts are coming in. Nothing too crazy, but I do want to make sure that I try to get long here. Another contract somewhere in the 34, 32, 5 area. Um, you know what?
34,
34.
32.
Where am I at? 30. 30. So I'm another $20 down here. Okay. Sorry, I'm just doing some math calcs in my head as far as what my risk is versus the
Yep.
reward here. So looks like buyers tried there. They're trying. Let's see. Doesn't look like the seller. You know what? All right. I'm long my last contract here. Yes.
Two
I love
contracts.
you, gold. No, now I'm long my full 3 contracts uh, of
Nice.
gold here. I will definitely, closer to the top end of the range, I will likely get out of one of those contracts for the sake of locking in about 15 to $20, and then go from there and hold the rest. Um, but I literally got in. Okay, what was the execution here? Let's see what the execution was. Orders. I got in at 33.2 on that last contract, and it immediately bumped up to 33.9 or 34.
Nice.
So I got in literally a half of a second before that almost $1 just jump.
Perfect timing.
That's just, it's crazy how like quick these quiet markets are.
Yeah.
Really, really is crazy. Tough to get used to as well, but slowly but surely.
And is that because of the thinner liquidity? Is that why that's
Yeah,
so much quicker?
yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Do, 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 do. Huh. Might be a spot. Yeah, I like this area too because it's kind of cool to look at some of these smaller time frames a little closer.
And
Because
yeah, oh, I
me
agree.
and
Liquidation.
me and the
Sorry,
boys
sorry to
on the
tire you.
morning, me and the boys on the morning, we're more longer term, hour, 4 hour, that kind of thing. So, but
Right.
yeah, I enjoy our streams because it gives me a chance to look at some of these smaller frames. I try to look on them as
Yeah.
much as I can throughout the morning session too, but uh, we spend a great deal of time explaining mindset and strategy and stuff, and obviously with three guys we go back and forth. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's always something to say
Of course.
and answering chat. Chat's growing a little bit, so it's kind of fun, man. Time
Awesome.
flies. 4 hours sounds like a long time, and it was at first couple, but now it's nothing. It's like snap your finger a couple
Yeah.
times, go to the 15-minute break in the middle of the session, and then yeah, we just kind of go and do a second pass at what we're looking at, see what's changed, and answer questions. Yeah, 4 hours actually goes pretty quick.
I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah,
And and I will say, uh, as you like, I'm sure like so you start at 3 a.m. Central Time, right? You said,
yeah,
or
mm-hmm.
is it? Yeah, so 3 a.m. Central Time.
Yeah.
Well, with that 3 a.m. Central Time being said, then that would be 4 a.m. Eastern, and then it's 4 hours roughly going into like getting into like once you get to that second half of the session, like you probably have more people waking up and like joining the stream and stuff, and so for sure that second half I'm sure blows by even quicker than the first half too. So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah, because because the first half, yeah, we start at 3. I usually do the news piece at like 3:30 or sometimes 4. Um, so yeah, we just and then like right after that, it just flies, and then
yeah,
yeah, the 15 minutes because we finish at 7:15, so it's actually 4 hours and 15 minutes. 4 hours by the
hmm
time you subtract the 15 break, but yeah, no, that first couple of days, the first couple of mornings, it felt long, but that's just because it was me getting up at 2 a.m. Right, but
yeah,
I'm perfectly used to the sleep schedule now. It's nothing, like it's easy.
awesome,
It's easy, but yeah, it's awesome. I love it. I love everything about it.
yeah, dude. Yeah, and
Bring the energy,
I'll
wake everybody up.
yeah, I'll say. Liquidation Labs was our liquidation lab was mentioning once you move or maybe move stop loss to entry once you get above the top. Yeah. So my thought on how I would like my thoughts on approaching the trade if assuming it does go into my favor. If it does go into my favor, what I like I was saying, I'm probably going to take off one contract once I'm like roughly $20 in the money on it. I would take off one here. And then what I'll do is I'm going to, with my stop loss, instead of moving it to break even, once it breaks above here, I'm going to see where the 50 period is at that moment. I just want to check where that is relative to my entry or price and see if I shouldn't just move it to like within 10 ticks of the 50 period EMA to just give myself a little bit more of a runway for a larger move upwards if it just needs to consolidate back down a little bit again. So we'll see though. We'll see how close that is to like that EMA is to the entry price, and we'll go from there. It feels good right now. It's feeling pretty decent. Love seeing it come back there, getting into the green after another grueling 10 minutes of of action. But we just got to be patient with these slow markets. I'll tell you, they are quiet.
All
That's
out
for
of
sure.
yeah.
Man,
Yeah, it's been
come on.
fun
Let's.
getting used to not only this Asian session early part, but the European session in the morning. It's just been interesting as a trader to because all I've ever known is New York hours, right? New York market hours.
Yeah.
Um, and it's cool to just see the different nuances with all the other major markets out there. You know, being on this different schedule and sleep schedule. So
Right.
pretty
Right.
good, pretty good to experience. I think overall, not only for my trading but just my teaching, helping people
Mhm.
out in between sessions. So getting better at it one day at a time.
We all. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's it's definitely as much as much as we are like our teachers and everything, and we're helping people understand like just responsible methodologies and processes for trading. Here we go. Come on. Sorry, I'm like
Hey, hey,
let's see the move. Let's continue this move up here. I want to just it's
just pop a
15:30,
top.
45. So come on, just jump above the 36 area so I can get out of one of these. I would really like that.
There
Um,
you go, Liquidation Lab. I'm sure you're happy too. Uh,
it is having a hard time. Come on, guys, push.
oh wait,
So,
I guess the XAU isn't spiking as well. It's spiking similar to that actually. Not as
but
it doesn't
what I
look
was
as good
saying.
as. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, Tiger. What I'll to finish my thought before everything was getting crazy there. I didn't mean to interrupt myself, but what my thought was is basically it's like we are teaching practices and everything, like the right practices for consistent trading and whatnot, but also doing it like on stream is like it's kind of interesting because I've never like done any sort of live streaming before or anything, so it's like just
Oh yeah.
it's like a new environment to kind of do it in, but I'm like I'm now used to it myself, but uh I don't know, I feel like in the beginning it was just getting a little bit used to the talking to the camera kind of thing, but now I love it. I love
Yeah.
chatting with the chat and whatnot and getting into
Yeah.
it.
It's great. It's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. It's just like I can't remember which stream I was on, but it's to me just like when I started all my sales jobs. They said you'll never sound
Yeah.
as worse as you will on your first call, so you got to rip the band-aid off and give her hell, and then it gets easier. So I think that helped me a
the
lot, just because I was in the world of sales and naturally talking to people as it was. So um,
exactly.
then they said I could talk trading, which is my favorite subject. Hell yeah, sign me up for that.
See, for real. I agree, man. I could talk about trading just like literally for 12 hours a day if you give me the chance. So I'm right there with
Yep.
you. All right, come on. The buyers are coming in. Sellers just got, as Sam famously says, sellers just got trapped. There's a larger
Yeah.
volume of sellers at the 34.5 area that then just kind of fizzled out, and then some smaller buyers came in and are pushing things up. So it would be nice to see some buyers continue, like and that doesn't have to be too big of buyers or anything, but let's push up to that 34, 36 area where there's a larger offer of about 25 contracts, and for the overnight session that's relative. I did, believe it or not, is kind of decent. But then at 34.38 is where we see the real volume, the big volume in the overnight sitting at. It's 52 contracts at 34.38. So what I'm hoping is that 34.38 really acts as the gravity. That's like the spaceship essentially trying to suck price up into it right there. So 34.38 will definitely be the area to watch for very intensely. I'm about to
Yeah,
get out of a contract here soon. Come on.
just
Push.
needs to break
Push,
that
push.
top. There you go. That's like that's that's like that's a smaller time frame of what gold's been doing the last X amount of weeks. The quadruple
Mm-hmm.
top.
Yeah,
Looking
why
at a
didn't I
daily
realize
daily
PNL?
chart.
That's crazy. Let's see here. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So I was like, why is my realized P&L so low on that sale? It was because my first contract was my worst executed contract. So now my average price is lower at the moment, but the realized P&L is super small. So that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, it's
All
worse.
right.
4, 5 whole dollars. Just a
That's that cup of coffee.
reminder, everybody in the chart. Just a quick reminder about the giveaway we're doing for 50K Forex challenge account. Thought I'd throw that back out there again. We'll be picking that here in actually about 12, 13 minutes, I think. So, yeah, if you have not won yet, please do. Just go make sure you update your email address in your bio, your YouTube bio, so that makes you eligible to win. And give us a holla. Tell us a lie on here, right? Tell us what you want to look at, whatever, just so we know you're there and we know who to look to potentially pick. We're judging.
Beautiful.
So just wanted to throw that back out there again. 11, 12 minutes. So, yeah, there you are. 50K account coming up soon. Sorry, Paul. What was you about to say?
Oh no, nothing. I was laughing actually. I was laughing at your statement. It was funny. Like the we're
Tell us a lie.
biased. That was fun, or whatever.
We're judging.
We're judging. That's what
Why
it is.
lie? They want honest people around on here, right?
That's so great.
Not in a bad
Love it.
way, in a good way, of course. In a good
Of
way.
course, that's why I laughed because I knew it was extremely lighthearted and good. It was funny. LFG. Can't say that. I can't say exactly what you're saying, Liquidation Lab, but I agree. Let's go, LFG.
Oh, that's right. Let's flip and go.
Well, looks like we didn't close. So we closed in the upper part of that range there on that last 5 minute candle, and then now on this 5 minute candle here, we're trying to test the lower part of that range again. So we weren't able to break through that last attempt. But I mean, if I have a hunch here, it's that we come back down into this EMA area again for a possible retest of the EMA before we go back closer to the top of the range. And this trade is obviously not the greatest execution. You can tell that like my execution here on these last two lots is literally right in the middle of the range. It's poor in my standards of execution, and unfortunately I missed the really nice execution like that I had talked about at about literally an hour ago. But here we go. So we are now testing that EMA again. I am going to get long a last contract. I'm going to get long again. So I have a full position of 3 contracts here. Some good volume, some strong volume there on the downside to try and push this lower. If we hold right here, man, is this looking great to the long side again?
Yeah, yeah.
If buyers are stepping up, come on.
Oh, heck yeah, that looks good. Meanwhile, Bitcoin jumped onto my watch list for a potential buy here in a bit. Now, this is a small time frame, so it's yeah. I just realized we had a pretty good 15-minute zone, I believe it is, demand zone. So that's something I'm watching off screen here. Still a little ways away,
Yeah,
about $200 away. $200 away from a zone, so may or may not have that
yeah,
fill. But it's looking pretty good. Flip it on over just for a quick second back in. Just flip over to my chart. I'll just show a quick look at what I'm looking at on the Bitcoin. Then you can have the
sounds
chart
good.
next. Yeah. Yeah, Bitcoin, obviously, if I'm looking at it from a 4-hour time frame, daily time frame, it's not on my bullish list. But again, when it comes to trying to scalp these things, I'm not as picky because at the end of the day, supply and demand works in all time frames. Yeah, Bitcoin's giving me a score of a 3. So yeah, it's close. I mean, it really only needs another couple pieces of good news. But anyway, in the meantime, I am looking at this zone here. Oh, I forgot. There's all my goodies. So if I just, oh, good grief, just kind of take off my order block tool. Yeah, I got that last red candle down before this big spike up, and look at the volume coming out of that. That's why I'm excited about this area right here, is because of this volume, slow volume spike. I just move that up to an hour. You can see that spike, right? 1 hour 30. But yeah, I mean, heck, I could look at this. I could even look at this on the 30-minute candle. That would actually probably be a better move because yeah, really good volume coming out of there. So yeah, for this one, not going to be too super picky. Just give me a simple drop in. Probably just do a limit order on this thing. Mainly because of the volume
Nice.
being so good. I mean, I don't do a lot of limit orders. In fact, I'll probably still do a market order just because I'll be watching it. But if I were stepping away from the chart for any reason, I would almost be interested in throwing on a limit order. Just yeah, right there. So give me like a 5. Give me like a maybe like a 2 or 3 minute reversal type candle. Some show just I want to see some of that volume activated over here too. Collecting liquidity under this low here, and it's right down in the demand zone. So we got liquidity. So that's stop losses from these people that bought up in this area, bought in this area, bought this area. They're putting all their stop losses pretty much right in the middle of that demand zone. So double the liquidity, unfilled orders, excellent volume. Hell yeah, I'll jump into that for just a quick little scalp to this recent high. Nothing too crazy. 1.5 to 1, 2 to
Nice.
1, one reward risk. We shall see. So I better
Yeah.
put an alert on it. So in fact, I'm going to just pre-build that trade on my GUI trades just so that I have it there in case I want to hit market buy real quick. So that's it. That's all I wanted to see. Our show.
No,
Do you have any?
that's good. Well, my trade completely broke down and I got stopped out, so I'm negative
Oh,
65
okay.
at this point. I did get long again when we wicked down and then came back up, and I got long one contract with a stop loss of about $14. So it'd be about $15 loss again, and it's coming back down again already. Thought that we might see the sellers essentially buy back and cause a spike back upwards. That doesn't seem to be the case at the moment. So I might be down about $80 on the night, assuming I get stopped out here in a second. But yeah, I mean, not my night. I had a good day today in the regular trading hours. Naturally, uh, markets want to try to take a little bit back from me, which is understanding. I'll pay my dues here. I messed
Yeah.
up in my execution on this trade, and it's just a good lesson learned here that to just to not to not really overthink a trade like I did, and just get in when I got in. I would have been up $40, 40 or $50 on the day, and could have kind of been sitting pretty. But good lesson learned, to be quite honest. And I took a little stab here again, a small 1 micro stab, and if it plays out and I can make a little bit back, great. If not, not a big deal, and I'll probably just relatively call it quits for the night, and we can take some looks at other markets or something, and just figure out if there are any other maybe trade plans for tomorrow or anything you're looking at specifically. So
Mm-hmm.
so yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. I can. Well, I got my alert set, so I'm gonna. Yeah, I'll just take a quick. What do we got? We got 4 minutes before we call a winner. Oh, we better check. We gotta. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see.
So
Just looking at notes.
yeah.
Sorry, I haven't even looked at the chat in a minute.
No.
I think. But yeah, I'll take a look at some of the alerts I've got set. So let's do that real quick. I'll just do that.
Yeah.
Wait and see if back end screams at or back end Bitcoin screams at me as far as the alert goes. Okay, so yeah, so obviously I get the Bitcoin idea here. Now Bitcoin, looking at it from the higher time frame, so I just realized this on TradingView, it has not yet hit this zone I was looking at, but I noticed on GUI trades, it has. So it clearly wasn't synced up very well. Because, yeah, that clearly hit the zone right there, and it actually had been bouncing up. So, dang it, I should have paid attention from the higher time frame
Dang
status. I didn't realize that, yeah, because you can clearly see the difference, right? Touched, not touched, touched, not touched. But, oh well, no big deal. No big deal. So, anyway, pound dollar, this is my favorite dollar bearish pair right now. It is giving me a get my neutrals taken off -7. So this is one I've just kept my eye on for a couple days now. But yeah, I'm basically looking at this overhead supply still 133.57 level 133 for a short. So yeah, just kind of updating this over here. That's basically what I'd be looking for. I got this demand below, so if I can get into that trade, yeah, I'll just look to sell probably above this demand here, this 1 hour demand, because we're creating liquidity on top here, Opposite of a sell order is a buy order. Big banks, institutions need buy orders to fill their sell orders, along with institutional unfilled orders. So that's why I would look to trade that south, short sell that. Now I did put a smaller time frame zone here. Not as interested in it, but that's more of a scalpy type look right there. So if I get price to just come up here, might look to take it just back down to this area, just like a simple little short, little scalpy type short. But my ultimate favorite move is that 1 hour supply ahead. That's really what I'm most interested in. The highest probability for me, because it's a 1 hour supply within a 4 hour supply. So that's the confluence I love. Okay, so I just want to put this real quick. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, that's pound dollar sell. Japanese yen, the Nasdaq, the S&P, they're all fairly similar. I think the S&P, looking at a smaller time frame, is probably my favorite look because I do have this. Well, first of all, it's given me a bullish score of an 8. So it's actually passed Nasdaq. So Nasdaq has been the most bullish index as far as the fundamentals go.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, the S&P's actually surpassed it. So right now, Nasdaq's giving me a +7, S&P's giving me a +8. So just looking at it on this smaller scalpy type time frame, 15 minutes, do have this little demand right in here. Two big green candles, 3 additional smaller green candles up. So might look at this as just a possible scalp type of look, something like that. Got an alert set on it. Higher time frame though. This is what I was talking about. The indexes are just kind of hanging out in no man's land. They're just kind of diddling in the middle because you got this recent swing high, this obvious recent swing low from the Friday news driving price down. So it's really just kind of back to the middle of that. So I don't know what the heck I want to do with S&P. Do I want it to? I think what I would want it to do is to just break these recent highs and close up here somewhere, and then retrace down and find a demand zone somewhere along the way for a buy back up. That's just, I mean, now it's obviously that's a several day thing, right?
Yeah.
It'll probably most likely take a few days for that to shape up. But yeah, if I'm just looking at an immediate trade, I mean, heck, it's been in like you said at the start of the show, at the outset, it's been pretty good move up ever since the Friday nonsense. So yeah, just maybe catch a little quick back along the way and see if we can ride it up for a simple little scalp. So that's what I'm looking at there for the S&P, the 62, the 63.29 level. Of course, the CFD is what I'm looking for, contract for difference. So S&P, we'll go to NASDAQ. Yeah, S&P. I'm sorry, NASDAQ. Yeah, nothing too major in this area. Just kind of a bunch of. It's just not too interested. I don't think in NASDAQ at the moment. It looks very similar, higher time frame. It's right back in that 50% retracement of that recent spike high, recent drop low. Same thing. Ultimately, higher time frame. Just give me a push above the highs. This is exactly the same thing as S&P. Close above that area and then come back somewhere down here to find some type of demand to buy to the long side. That's my ultimate higher probability look. And then, of course, the Dow is probably going to look similar, but I don't even have Dow on my bullish list right now. So it's technically neutral. But just to look at it for technical sake, exact same thing. Exact same thing. I mean, I do have a daily demand down below, which could possibly be. I may look at that as on a daily buy, actually. Former resistance point going right through that demand. So we might look at that on the highest time frame. I usually don't buy straight off bounces of the daily demand. I prefer to see another smaller time frame within. I didn't really see that though when I dig in on a 4 hours. Just kind of you got this one big red candle, but just kind of a slow, lazy move on out when you're looking at the subsequent candles. So I heard it, damn it.
Yeah. Same thing happened to me where I literally went to go get into a trade. It would have been perfect execution on the NQ, but it was on gold, even though my chart was on NQ. So, and I just missed like 10 points on the NASDAQ there. That is aggravating. I got to figure this out quicker, sooner than later. Whatever this like lack of, whatever I accidentally did to de-link things here. I think I might have just figured it out actually. Nope, didn't. Just kidding. JK. But whatever. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to interrupt you there. I just That
You
was a
good? You
little
good?
annoying. Darn, man. Darn.
That's
What a
pretty.
night. This is a interesting night. This is a night of such good opportunity, but nothing to reflect it.
Yeah. No,
uh,
that's all
gosh.
good. Well, you had a good night the other night. We both did. We both got in the same trade. I mean, I got on the CFD version, but um,
Yeah,
hey, you win, you lose, right?
exactly. That's it.
Uh,
That is
in
it.
bowling, the most annoying stat I ever heard somebody say was, "Tiger, average is average. You'll throw a 250, you'll turn around and throw a 150, but you'll come back with a 220. Then you might throw a 180. Then you throw a 200. Okay, you're a 200 average bowler. Like, it doesn't matter how you get
I
there;
love
it
it.
just matters that you get there. So whenever I'd complain about a 150, 160 game, he would remind me, you've got a 230 right around the corner. So average is average, right? We have a winning day, we have a
You're
losing day. Average is
you're right. You're right, man. That's such like a good thing to remember too. Like, and I think that yeah, average is right. Like as long as you have you have a good average between your win loss and whatever that risk reward ratio is, you don't have to worry about it. Just make sure you
yeah,
preserve yourself for the next opportunity, and you'll hop on it. Be good to go. We'll get a win here and there, and we'll call back. Um,
yeah.
I've been doing, it's funny because this past like week, like past 6 trading days or so, I've been doing very well um, on my challenge account here. I've really been getting like consistent green days, and
Mhm.
on micros too, nonetheless, just on micros. And so it's like this is the first session that I've had where I've had like a relatively decent loss, and it's just one of those things where I'm excited for tomorrow. I'm definitely excited for tomorrow's session, but I
Me
know
too.
this loss could have been a lot. I know this loss could have been a lot less given the opportunity, and but like you said, average is average. Just let it average out. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Yes, this loss could have been less and made things a little bit easier on myself, but you know, no big deal. I'm a trader at heart, and I've been a trader for a long time, and I know how it goes. It's always that innate feeling of son of a gun. Like, what am I doing to myself
Yeah.
here?
Oh yeah.
Like, I just that's it. So
Yeah, that was me about 3 weeks ago. I had two or three small stupid losses in a row. I'm like, ah, it don't matter. Yeah, you still
uh,
get annoyed by it. I mean, all we can do is look back, see where we broke our rules, or hey, at the end of the day, if you didn't break our rules, it was a good trade. A loss, still a good trade. Yeah,
exactly.
we talked about the concept this morning of people that strategy hop,
Uh,
because we were talking about, and I was telling them that it reminded me of the book I read, 3 Feet from Gold. It was I put it on the Discord actually earlier in the resources channel, but uh, no strategy is perfect. So there's a lot of strategies, a lot of ways to make money in the markets. A lot. No one is necessarily better than the other, but the point is you got to learn all the nuances like of whatever it is, and just know that it's going to incorporate losses. So don't give up
yeah,
on a strategy, because I kind of showed everybody the vicious cycle of strategy hopping, just so it made sense. You don't do it, you lose a handful of trades, you just give up on it. So yeah, that's all I would say to anybody watching this. Just don't give up on your strategy, because you can make money with about just a lot of strategies, but just give it time. And when you have
yes,
those losses, don't assume it's the strategy's fault. Well, it's not always the strategy's fault. Sometimes we just break a little rule here or there, or sometimes the market just does what the market does. Look, every time President Trump puts out a Truth Social post, or somebody does a tweet from around the world, I mean, little things like that. Obviously, the tariffs and the trading trade deals and all that, like those things happen and have knocked a lot of trades out for losses. So it's not the trader's fault. It's not the system's fault. It's those unforeseen circumstances sometimes that just supersede the fundamentals like I look at. Uh, the moving averages. I mean, yeah, you can't blame it. You can't always blame it on the strategy, is what I'm saying. So don't give up on it so easy and stick with it for the
Yeah.
long haul.
Yeah, no, it's what's actually really funny is Sam was saying something similar the other day about like the strategy hopping. Don't strategy hop. You can't do that. You need to let whatever your strategy is play out for a longer run term before you consider even changing the strategy. Because, like you said, there are too many
Yeah.
people that are doing that, and it just leads to either a blown account or a really bad stretch of trading or what have you. But before I
Yeah.
forget, I am going to production teams let me know here that we're just giving it a little bit longer in terms of the giveaway. We're just waiting to see if we can find anybody in the chat here that has not won a challenge account yet, to come forth. Put a comment in the chat, let us know you're here. Enter the competition by liking the two YouTube channels, Ola Prime TV and Ola Prime Global, putting your email in your description, your bio description in your YouTube channel, liking the stream and commenting, obviously. And yeah, and if we don't have anybody unique here today that hasn't won uh, a challenge account thus far, then we will just roll that into the next
Roll it over.
trading
Yeah.
session. Probably, yeah, we'll just do
Yeah.
that and go forward. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So people like, yeah, Liquidation Lab, Chris. I mean, you guys have friends, family, cats, dogs, anybody that you can recommend this channel to, definitely do it. We're trying to organically grow this sucker. So the more sets of eyeballs, the better. Even if they have one eye, it doesn't matter. I mean, we don't discriminate. One eye, you got two eyes, you got three eyes. I mean, it's all it's all the same. So yeah, I definitely recommend this. Refer us, help us grow this sucker, and especially because, like what Coach Paul just said, we may have to roll this thing over. So be a good opportunity to reach out to a friend, right? Reach out to a Forex trader or a futures trader, because we do futures accounts as well at times. Just get them on this here stream. Hey, trading
yeah,
can be boring. It can be stressful. I'm a nutcase. I joke around. I'm the class clown, so I like to make it fun and interesting. And Paul, he's really, really good as well. So yeah, just help us grow this
yeah,
this stream out. And it's a really good one. This is probably one of my favorite streams, Coach Paul, because again, we're not. And I think Liquidation Lab, you pointed it out perfectly. I don't remember exactly verbatim what you said, but yeah, this is definitely a slower spot. It's not as stressful. It's a great way to kind of strategize and look at kind of the bigger picture, right, of the
yeah,
markets. So um, yeah, it is. This is probably one of my favorite ones. I mean, I like them all
yeah,
in their unique ways, but this is a
yeah.
really cool one. And me and Paul get to learn the Asian market, so it's even better. It's just us,
Exactly.
selfishly for us, kind of cool.
No, for sure. No, and I'm right there with you. I agree. It's like learning the Asian market sessions is something I never really put too much time into, and I'm glad that I'm able to put the time into that
And,
now.
yeah, never thought of it.
I waited. Yeah, honestly, I I think I just made excuses for myself, or I was honestly a lot of the time, like especially, when I'm trading my personal account, and I before I was a part of, Ola Prime here, and I was trading my personal account day in day out. I think I was extremely burnt by the time I was burnt out by the time like the closing bell would come. So I would just like want to be done the trading session, and just like rest my brain until the next morning, until I would get up at like 7:30 in the morning the next morning. So, but now, I take it's different because like I with this quiet market session, I end like the trading sessions in the earlier in the day. I things are a little bit more spread out. I'm giving myself and my brain proper breaks, and I'm just really allowing the brain to actually rest when it needs to throughout the day, in between our session breaks and everything. And I'm just charged and ready
No,
to go for this quiet market session. Honestly, I'm always ready to go to make a trade or two here. So I love
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Here's my Nikkei chart. It's it's another one of my bullish setups. Bullish score of a 6. I think the best play I have is this pullback all the way to 38,590. This is that retail chop zone I always try to avoid. So I love to buy undervalued under that. So I think that's probably my best setup at the moment. I don't want to get involved in this area. I mean, if I go down to a smaller time frame, I'm sure I could probably find a decent looking demand zone in this area. Yeah. But it's just going to get chopped to pieces most likely. So I'm going to ignore that. So I got some waiting to do on the Nikkei. Let's see, gold. Yeah, we already talked about gold. Bitcoin's getting kind of close, getting down to this zone here, so not too far away. A couple away, and I might look at that one there. The majors, as far as the major currencies. So this is interesting, Paul. So on the euro dollar, I have it as a bullish score of a 6, and then its little brother, British pound dollar, is on the opposite end, getting
Mm-hmm.
a bearish signal. So just kind of interesting because I've got that with a few different dollar pairs, couple bullish, or no, actually it's just, let's see here. Uh, yeah, dollar Japanese yen is bearish, dollar Swiss is bearish, but yet the pound dollar, which puts the dollar as the not the base quote currency but the quote currency, is bullish. So it's just kind of weird how I have kind of some mixed signals with the dollar, if that makes sense. But anyway, yeah, pound
Yeah.
dollar, that's my supply. Dollar Japanese yen, that's a short one as well. So yeah, this is another one that's just in no man's land. Yeah, that's basically the common theme. I need to see some price action, kind of like this red I drew up earlier. Break this low point, because here's the deal on things like the dollar Jap, it's still higher highs and higher lows, right? So that's still technically an uptrend, but yet I have a
Mm-hmm.
bearish setup, a bearish bias. So that's why I drew out that price action, just my projection tool. I need to break this low. I need you to close down here so that I have a lower low, and then on the potential lower high, that's just basically where I might pick a zone in this area, or just wait till it closes down below this zone and kind of creates it organically. So yeah, just a lot of hurry up and wait, and with respect to the higher time frames, but yeah, but yeah, as far as the lower time frames, yeah, it's literally the Bitcoin, the pound dollar, S&P on this 15. The NASI didn't really have a great read on the NASI unless I were to look in this area down here, but I don't know, not too interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Bitcoin, S&P, pound dollar. That's the three items that I'm going to be looking at overnight here. Did you
Bitcoin,
have any?
S&P, pound.
Yeah,
No, I mean,
Bitcoin
honestly, right now,
and Nikkei as well, but it's more of a higher time frame. But I do have this lower time frame as well. So a couple 15 minutes,
yeah,
15-minute on the Nikkei, 15-minute on S&P demand zones. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, for me, over these last like 10 to 15 minutes, I was looking at the NASDAQ a little bit. There was maybe a long opportunity that I didn't take, but honestly, I think it's probably best to just, you know, put the trading the clicker finger away, and just sit for the remainder of the 10 minutes here. Look at some charts, maybe analyze a couple things on my past trades, and kind of just be done with it. I had a good day today, relatively speaking, between the regular trading hours and tonight. Even with the bad trades tonight, they weren't really bad trades. They genuinely I had the perfect thoughts. I had the right thoughts. It just didn't get executed properly, and this is exactly why I
Yeah.
emphasized execution mattering possibly more than your strategy, because I'll tell you what, like, you can have a strategy as much as you'd like, but if you're not executing it properly, you're messing everything up. It messes everything
Hmm.
up. It doesn't allow for the probabilities to play out the way that they're supposed to play out. So so yeah, and that's just even myself, like, I'll preach that. That doesn't mean that I'm perfect and I'm doing it correctly all the time and I'm executing perfectly all the time. I myself am
Hmm.
also susceptible to not executing perfectly, but the more I drill it into my own head, and the more that I say it out loud here, maybe others will learn from it, and also make sure to practice more precise execution and be a little bit more concentrated on that execution to provide some more green days for yourself. So
Right.
yeah.
Hey, I just wanted to address real quick. Spasm Grander. Looks like you are short the Ethereum. Is that right? Ethereum? Um, yeah, I was just looking at it. Just looking at it. I always look at things from a higher time frame supply and demand zone aspect. Yeah, you got this little almost triple bottom. You obviously, it looks like price is trying to round the curve to go back down, right? So awesome. Do you have like what's your method? I'm just curious. You do like you do breakouts, supply and demand. What do you think? I'm just curious. So yeah, I mean you're obviously selling pretty high. So yeah, I don't really have the fundamentals of Ethereum built into my system. I mean, obviously it would track pretty similar to Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, I don't really have, but it's more of a neutral read for me. I'm just looking at the smaller time frames for some short-term pullbacks. But yeah, as far as Ethereum goes, yeah, you got a lower low, you got a high point, and then you got a lower high. You got this low point. You kind of got a double bottom, so I would just be careful in that area, just because it hasn't really proven that it's a downtrend yet, right? Come to the top, but yeah, good luck to you on that. I mean, that's all I could really say. But yeah, we'll be picking a winner
Mhm.
here in just a moment, Spasm. So we're just working with our back end at the moment. See what they got. We got about 6 minutes
Perfect.
left.
Yeah, yeah, and
Oh,
we'll announce that winner in the next few minutes, I'm sure. And yeah, we really got more. Okay,
okay.
we can
So we can go
go
ahead
ahead.
and
Would you like to? You want to do the honors, or you want me to do the honors?
you go right ahead, my friend. I think I did the last one.
All right. Well, we have the name of the winner right in front of us now. And the winner of the 50K challenge account, Forex challenge account,
There's your drum
is
roll.
Spasm Grandeur.
Basil
What do you know? Look at
Granor.
that. Look at look at that,
You
my man.
spoke
Oh
it
my
into
goodness.
existence. You spoke it into existence,
Awesome.
Spasm. I love the name, by the way.
I
I
like
love it.
saying the word I like saying the word grandeur. I'm assuming that is how
Grandor.
that is the pronunciation. Grandeur. I think
Yep.
that's right. I just love saying that.
Yep.
That's great.
Oh,
Congratulations.
congrats.
We will email you with the information and how to claim your account and everything. So be expecting that email in the next couple of days or so. And yeah, and good luck on the trading journey. And definitely make sure to let us know how everything's going. In the meantime, maybe in the Discord, we have our Discord chat. So we've got the original Ola Prime Discord, and then we have the futures. So maybe in the original Ola Prime one, where we focus on the Forex stuff, you can give us some updates on how you're doing. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and tell your friends, tell anybody that you know that trades. I mean, I don't know, who knows how much longer we're going to be doing these giveaways. It could end tomorrow. It could end, who knows, in a week. That could be the last one. I don't
yep.
know. They're being super generous. They're being very generous. Our company is, with passing those out. I mean, it obviously takes them time to, get things set up in the back end. So, but it's no cost to you, for this first one. So tell everybody, let's grow
Yep.
this thing. We're here for you guys. I mean, me and Paul learn a lot from each other, which is awesome. Just looking at it on the selfish side, it's I learn a lot by doing these streams. Every time I teach, I don't know about you, Paul. Every time I teach and coach something, though, it really reiterates to my own psyche. Hey, that's why this. That's why you do this. That's why you do that. So as much as I love helping people, and I love it, it helps me. Teaching people
Yeah.
helps me to reinforce what I'm speaking. So, what's your thoughts on that?
No, I agree. I'm right there with you too. Whenever I'm like essentially just trying to bring, especially through example as well, like when I'm showing an example of something I'm looking at, or if I did make a trade and it was a great trade, and I'm going through my thought process of why I executed the way I did, or if it was a bad trade, it was a loss on a trade, and why the execution occurred the way it did, or what my thought process was getting into the trade, regardless of the outcome, or like the entry or the outcome. I'm always basically evaluating myself. It's a
Yeah,
way that I'm in which I'm evaluating myself through teaching others. So it undoubtedly has a beneficial, effect on ourselves, going through our own examples and everything. But I'm just glad that when, like, when a coach is making a mistake and able to point it out to the viewers, maybe the viewers can pick up a little bit of that, that lesson learned for themselves without having to necessarily make that mistake. I will say some of the greater lessons learned are mistakes that you make on your own dime, or on your own time, or what have you. But if you can take away anything from any of our trades and what we have to say about them when we're analyzing them very, very uh, delicately and with a lot of precision when we're analyzing, then power to you, because there's a lot that can be learned in a lot of these live trading sessions. So even the
yeah,
quiet markets, when there's only a couple trades being taken, there's something to learn. Like my trade, for example, there was plenty to learn with my trade tonight, and I hope you guys did learn. Especially how important the execution was there tonight. And tonight was not one of those nights where you could get away with poorer execution. So
well,
with
that's what I
that,
was going to say.
yeah,
That real quick, I was
yeah,
just going to say, yeah. Sometimes we'll spend minutes or hours analyzing a potential trade, and the minute it turns into a small loss, we know immediately where we failed. Typically, because it's like, okay, I
yep,
kind of overlooked this. I might have overlooked that. Got a bad fill or whatever. Like, it's just funny how we instantly know. Okay, I kind of knew I had it coming on this one.
exactly, exactly, 100%. There's no doubt about
Yeah,
it. But with that being said,
that's it.
we're already at the
Yeah.
end here. This is it. Yeah, the Nasdaq is rallying, based out a little bit. Perfect time for me to not take a trade. Great. But but it was a fantastic session, fun session, and we're gonna be
Yeah.
back again tomorrow night. So everybody, come back and say hi again tomorrow night at 8:55 p.m. Eastern time. But until then, we'll see you and get some good sleep. All right, everybody. Tiger,
Yep. Enjoy.
pleasure as always.
Yes,
Catch you
sir.
later.
We'll holler at you tomorrow. All right. Later.
Hola Prime, trade,